And them COs, they didn't give a about us. They don't care. They flipped out. They started screaming on everybody. So now I get tight. And it's the first time I actually really say something. And I'm like, yo, y'all gotta chill.
Bring some weed, I got a story to tell.
From prison to prison, jail to jail, 2 years straight, nigga just survived off Mel, you know.
My life, my life, my life, my life, my life. Ain't no justice, just us.
So now I'm just sitting in this cell with no one to talk to and no reading materials. I'm just listening to people converse from cell to cell and visualizing their conversations like I'm watching TV. My mind was just reaching out for things to latch on to avoid those difficult thoughts. I knew at some point though that I was gonna have to have that difficult conversation with myself. So while these dudes are talking, somebody sparked up a cigarette and started smoking. Now the COs had already warned them once about smelling smoke. I don't know if they boofed it or used some other method, but somehow somebody got some cigarettes, matches, or a lighter in there. So this particular day, there was a male and a female CO working, and when they came on the block and smelled that smoke, they flipped out. They started screaming on everybody and was like, if we smell cigarette smoke one more time, I'm throwing cold water on everybody. Obviously, you're not supposed to be smoking in prison. So the CO came and he opened up all the windows on the whole block. Now, mind you, it's March in Buffalo, New York. It's snowing and everything. It's cold as So now I get tight. And it's the first time I actually really say something. And I'm like, yo, I don't know who's smoking, but y'all gotta chill, because they ain't throwing no water on me. And a couple other guys, they concurred with what I was saying. We was like, yo, y'all gotta chill. The majority of people in there smoke, so we couldn't even see who it was. All of that speaks to the power of addiction. Somebody couldn't stop smoking for a couple days or a couple hours just so we wouldn't catch pneumonia and freeze. And them COs, they didn't give a about us. They don't care. So they already had all of the windows open on the whole block in the middle of March when it's snowing. It's freezing in there. It's not like it's well insulated and they have heat anyway. So now that big industrial fan that's over the door in the corner that I told you about, he turns it on high. So all the windows are open, blowing snow and cold air in, and he has the fan on. Now I have on thermals, the top and bottom. Got my socks, my boots, my steak greens, which is my pants, and my short sleeve button up green shirt. I have my coat, my scully, and I'm laying in the bed with my blanket all the way over me, and I'm freezing. So I'm shivering, teeth chattering. This right here is inhumane, but we're in prison. It's not like this is a place filled with people who like to be told what to do or follow rules well. So of course they smoked again. Now, I don't know if this was the same person that was smoking before or someone new, but you guessed it. Someone sparked up another cigarette, and as promised, the CO splashed them with cold water. Tragic. So the next day, there was a shift change. So there were new COs working on the block. They came in, turned the fan off, and closed all the windows. So there was a guy a couple cells down from me. I never got his name, but for the sake of this video, we're gonna call him Ace. Ace was very vocal, and by that I mean he was talkative, he was very loud, he was always chopping it up with people, and clearly Ace had been in this prison before and through this whole process. I know that because he started telling us what was about to happen. So Ace said, later on today when it's time for rec, they're gonna pop the cells open. And if your cell pops open, you get to go to rec, but you're gonna stay here for a longer period of time before they transition you to the prison where you're gonna do the rest of your time. He said if they don't pop your cell, then that means you're leaving later on that night. They're gonna put you on the bus and transfer you to a new facility. And for me, it was cool that Ace was sharing all this stuff because, as I stated many times, I've never been to prison before. This was my first and last go round, so I needed to know what was ahead of me. Now there was no clocks in there and no way for me to tell time, but I figure it was about 4 o'clock or after. Sure enough, just like Ace said, the cells popped open. So I'm hearing them pop, click, 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 click. They popping open. So I checked my cell to see if it popped open because I wanted to go to rec. My cell didn't pop open. So I'm like, dang, I really wanted to go to rec, but it's cool because that means I'm leaving here tonight and I get to go to where I'm gonna do the rest of my time. Because at this point, I'm super uncomfortable and I want to move to the next facility to where I can start building a routine and get as comfortable as I possibly can. You should never ever be comfortable in prison, but you can be as comfortable as you can be under those circumstances. So like I said, all the cells popped open. You hear people leaving out, they going to rec. So I'm just sitting in my cell, sitting. And I noticed they didn't pop the cell next to me either. So I spoke to the guy next to me and I know he had a book. So I'm like, yo, bro, when you get finished with that book, can you pass it over and let me read it? I'll pass it back. He was like, no doubt. But I don't know if he never finished reading it. He just didn't trust me or whatever the situation was. He never passed me the book. So I had to sit there the whole time throughout rec, just in my cell board. You have no idea things that you suppress consciously and that still are roaming around in your subconscious mind. When you have time to sit and think because you have nothing else to distract you or nothing else to do, thoughts that are swimming around in your head, it was painful, but I highly suggest you should take time to clear your mind and meditate because the end result is good for you. At that time, it was so much going on in my life. It was so many things and so many people that I was angry with and angry about. And it was all flooding to me. It was just coming to, it was building up. And during that time, I just was thinking and stewing.
Ain't no justice, just us.